Well, here we are, folks. Welcome back to the Castro Valley News live show. I am Roberto. This is our 89th episode, 89, and that is wild. Good evening. Well, let's jump right into the roll call. Good evening to Tiffany. Tiffany is first for the roll call. Again, my name is Roberto. This is the show that we do. Good evening, Dustin. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, Dustin. Good evening, Dennis. Good evening to Kathy. One more time, my name is Roberto. This is the live show that we do 2 times a week. We do it on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 7 p.m. And the concept is kind of a radio show, sort of, but it's video and audio as well. So it's kind of an interactive way for us to talk about things that are on our mind, things that are happening in our town. Good evening to Mary. Good evening to Cali Life. Cali Life is wishing myself and my mom and everyone a good evening. You are amazing, Cali Life. Thank you for all the wonderful things and nice, wonderful things that you bring to the show and for your generosity. If you are new to the show, each episode has a list. You can see how awesome this camera is here, just focused right on the list. We have a list of things that I write down that are kind of on my mind, and also since we are live and we are interactive, you can make a suggestion or you can text me at 510-331-9112. Anything that you have on your mind, things that you feel like we should be talking about. This is not just me blathering on. This is a show that is that welcomes your input and your topic suggestions and your comments, your confections, your ideas. Not confections, because those are sweets. I'll take your confections too, but please, I meant to say confessions. Good evening, Ross. I hope you are having a wonderful evening and a lovely holiday season. So yes, that was the first accidental funny thing of the night where I'm trying to say confessions and I say confections. Bringing us kind of to confections, tonight's gift card goes to Lord's Ice Cream Shop and Candy Shop in the Village. And this is, I'm gonna do, good evening, Gary. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a lovely evening and a wonderful holiday season. I'm impressed with the cardstock that this gift certificate is printed on. This is hardy cardstock. I love it. Viv says it's all of us babbling on, and yes, that's accurate. And a wonderful evening to you as well, Viv. Welcome back to the show. Yes, so Midway giveaway, we'll be giving away $20 gift certificate to Lord's Ice Cream, which I mentioned to someone who the giveaway, the business for the giveaway was, and they were like, well, it's freezing outside. It's super cold. Why would you give away ice cream? Because you can get a hot fudge sundae, you can get a hot chocolate, you can get some wonderful candies. You name it, Lord's has it. They're wonderful, nice people located in the Village. So we're still in the roll call. I'm wondering where is Dawn tonight. I'm wondering where Bob is tonight. Kim is usually here. Ron, good evening, Ron, and all of warm, fuzzy adulation here from Castro Valley to you in North Carolina. Ronald, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I hope your holiday season is amazing. Good evening to Paulette. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are having a wonderful holiday season as well. Welcome back to the show. I wanted to mention something to you. We're still doing the roll call. We do the roll call through the whole episode. I am not going to deny anyone a shout out. So we'll start the show off with a roll call and continue it through the whole episode. I guess we can do that. And Paulette, happy Tuesday to you as well. Good evening, Russell. I hope you're doing well. I think that's. No, I was just looking. I'm looking. There's interesting new badges that that Facebook is giving a lot of people, and I just mentioned that, Russell. Good evening. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday. Because there's a 5 that says 5 anniversary. Follow Castro Valley News to earn this badge. So apparently, Russell, you've been following the page for 5 years. So thank you for that. Dustin says, can we take a quick moment of silence for a local Castro Valley resident who passed away this week, and suddenly her name was Rochelle, and a lifelong resident. Her family and friends will be having a candlelight vigil this Friday evening at the community center. So in honor of Rochelle's passing and per Dustin's request, let's have a moment of silence for a lifelong Castro Valley resident, Rochelle. So that was close to a moment of silence for Dustin's friend Rochelle. And again, she was a lifelong resident. Family and friends will be having a candlelight vigil this Friday evening at the community center. My condolences and best wishes to Rochelle and her family and Dustin. Russell says, we are stuck with you. I'm glad that we're going to be stuck with you. That's a Huey Lewis song, right? Sorry. Bob is in the house. Bob is at the Shark Tank. And so good to have a Don sighting last Saturday. I agree. It was wonderful to have Don back. Thank you, Paulette, for tagging Billy, Michelle, another Lee, and Austin, Nicolette, Rick, and Tara. Thank you, Paulette, for tagging so many friends. Cali Life mentions Steph Curry broke Ray Allen's record for the most 3 points in the league. Congratulations, Steph. I heard on the radio that there were a ton of other illustrious basketball players who were watching the game. So definitely, we are so lucky to have probably the best basketball player in history here in the Bay Area. That's Steph Curry. He's amazing to watch. He's an amazing competitor, and it's awesome. Wow. Thank you, Maggie, and good evening, Maggie, and also thank you. Let me start again. Good evening, Maggie, and thank you for tagging Marlon, Satinder, Christian, Bill, Ruth, Legia, and Angelica. Tina has a question. What was all the police activity last Friday around 5:30 p.m.? Tina, it would be extremely helpful if you gave me an exact location. And I'll try to get some information for you. If you are seeing something that is happening in the moment that is police activity, please text me at the time or message me at that time. To be honest with you, something that happened last Friday is probably going to be difficult to get information on. But if you give me the location, I will do my best to try to unearth some information for you. Tina. And good evening, Tina. Thank you. Maggie is also tagging the Real Estate Girls with the Curls. I love that. I love their name. That's cool. Also tagging Christian and Vera and Awa and Monette and Liz and Patricia. So many. And Sanath. Paulette sent 100 stars. Thank you so much, Paulette. You are awesome. And Kai and Alicia and so many people. And I don't want to miss Paulette. Thank you so much for sending the stars. If you're not familiar with the stars thing, all you have to do is go over here and you click a little thing and it says it'll give you the lowdown. And basically, 45 stars is 99 cents. 145 stars is $2.99. 310 stars, $5.99. 1,500 stars is $24.99. That's a little bit pricey. But anyways, if you want to send us stars, that's a way to show us love. The little icon is right here where the comment, I think where you can click on the comments. Meta, Facebook gets 1 cent per star. We get the rest. So if you want to show us some love direct, monetary wise, that's the way to do it. Oh my goodness. Maggie is tagging everyone. Thank you so much, Maggie. Maggie hashtag Sylvia. I think I said Sylvia. Alicia, Lori, Venia. Wow. Thank you, Maggie, so much. And the show comes to a screeching halt. A super stop. An amazing stop for the man, the myth, the legend, the gentleman who is a gentleman. One of the guys that I know, that I've known for, I've known him for tons of years. Don at One Bad Apple is in the house. Don is back. Don is back, and I'm beside myself with joy. Thank you for coming back, Don. I love you. You see, our moderator is even excited that Don is back. It's amazing. Good evening, Michael. I hope you're doing well. Michael also, this is wild. You know, Facebook is doing so many new cool kind of things here. Michael, and also Michael, hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. Sending some love from your hometown of Castro Valley to Amador County to you. Michael is a 5-year fan. This is awesome. Janella, good evening to you. Janella, I hope you're doing well. If you don't know who Janella is, she is the brains and the brawn and the awesomeness behind Century 21 over on Redwood. I hope that's correct. Janella has been with us 5 years. David has been with us 5 years. This is wild. There's a lot of people who have been around for a while. Yeah, that's an inch. Anyways, Janella is tagging Tanya. We just got kind of a wacky kind of weird comment there. Wow. That's interesting. I kind of want to read this comment because number one, good evening, Dalton. I don't want to ignore your comment, but Dalton says, "Hey, may we conform to stats or be wildered on behavioral expression? The same is code for statistics. Are the tones of cognitive expression conformed to public and urban development? Or is the alchemy and algorithm of our environment real to possess mind?" I'm awash in the intellectual comment that is, and I mentioned your comment, and I honestly don't know how to respond to it. But Dalton, I hope you're well and having a wonderful holiday, and welcome to the show. Janella is awesome, and she is tagging Tanya, Micaiah. And Don says he is sending love to Jennifer and Rob. Okay, Dalton says drugs are the comment. I don't do drugs, so I can't really speak on that. I apologize. Jean, hello and good evening, and best to you. Paulette is tagging Ashley, and I know Ashley. Ashley, if you're listening, you are awesome, and I still owe you coffee. Dennis says next year will be 10 years following us. Wow. Dalton is asking, may I Zoom call? No, I would rather not. But I wish you the very best, Dalton. And Don says, Don is giving a shout out to Richard. So Richard, if you're listening, Don is looking for you. Jacob says he'll take coffee too. Good evening, Jacob. Also, oh boy, I need to go back and let me make sure. Maggie, I can't pass this up. Maggie sent 1,000 stars, and she did the little mic drop thing, which is cool. Thank you so much, Maggie. You are awesome. And Maggie is also a 5-year fan. I gotta say, for all the wacky stuff that Facebook Meta, whatever they do. Some of their tech things are cool. Um, Don says, buy Ashley a bagel too. Meredith sent 50 stars. Thank you, Meredith. You are awesome. You already know that. Meredith, you are amazing and awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Meredith. You're awesome. Yes. I just got sidetracked because I'm looking at. Oh, Michael is also there's so many 5-year fans here. It's wild. Um, so Meredith is also a star sender level 1. Okay. You will earn this badge by sending stars. The more you send, the higher level you will be on. Also, there's a top fan badge. That's a diamond. Um, there's a milestone follower thing, which I just mentioned that a lot of people have the 5 for. Um, oops, that's wild. Sorry. Hey, Jacob, thank you so much for 500 stars. I apologize, guys. I was looking at a couple things in the comment thread, and things just totally went sideways. Okay, so um, Don says, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" And I think that's tied into the fact that Don owns One Bad Apple on Castro Valley Boulevard, the amazing record shop right across the street from Pete's Hardware. Don just got a big batch of of REM records, so I noticed that also. Jacob, thank you again for the 500 stars. You are awesome. Micaiah just sent in 200 stars. Wow. Um, Bob is saying number 9, number 9, number 9, and that's an awesome Beatles reference. Um, Dalton says he's gonna listen for 5 minutes, wait for my views expressed to mean more than entertainment. Dalton, thank you for joining the show tonight. Michael says he's got great news on the Santa Amador Christmas Village. Lay it on me, Michael, and we'll let people know. Jan says, but this is entertainment. I don't think it's entertaining. Is it entertainment? This is, Don says, can Robert see what we are doing? Yes, I can see what you're doing, Don, and you should stop. Don says, the the walrus was Paul. Bob says Dalton is on the wrong program. This is probably the most entertaining show we've had in a long time. Not that any of them are less entertaining. My enunciation module is not working tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I just need to slow down. I'm trying to keep up with all of the amazing comments that are in the thread there. There's a lot going on tonight. Oh, Bob knows. Bob knows something that I was just going to mention. Bob says, turn me on, dead man. I buried Paul. There was a thing in, I think it was the 80s, that my father had on cassette, and it was an hour-long program about this whole Dalton is asking if I'm good, and I am very good, sir. But getting back to the thing that uh, there's some interesting. Anyways, Bob made a reference to something that my dad had a cassette that was a show surrounding a whole conspiracy around the Beatles, laying all these Easter eggs and songs and on albums that Paul had died, which is completely false. But if you look up, I wouldn't even know where you could find it. It was an entire show. It was a radio show where some folks were finding, like I said, all these Easter eggs in the Beatles album covers and in the songs, that Paul had died, which he had not. So I'm not going to spend any more time on that because that was, I mean, if you could find the radio show, I think there may have been a book about it too. It was somebody spent a lot of time finding all these quote unquote Easter eggs and hints about. Yeah, there you go. Viv says it was a hoax. There you go. Thank you, Viv, for punctuating punctuating the whole blather. Dalton. Anyways, so in Amador County, yes, Don says they say Paul died 26 years old, which was a hoax. It was not true. And actually, I think John Lennon was in that program as well, saying that it was not intentional. So anyways, totally sidetracked on that. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, Christine says, please give a quick shout out to two new Castro Valley businesses that had grand openings this week. Always Yours Bakery Cafe in the Village and Thrifty Medical Supply on Redwood Road. Please visit and help these local small businesses. You're welcome, Christine. And while we're on the topic, Dalton, yes, Castro Valley is in California. So you're getting acclimated and acquainted with Castro Valley, California. I thought maybe Dalton was a local listener, and Dalton lives in Colorado. So hey, Dalton, a shout out and a big hug to you in Colorado. We are here in the San Francisco East Bay of California. Getting to something that Christine had just mentioned. When it comes to Always Yours Bakery, they opened over the weekend and they had a huge line, super popular. I am in contact with our restaurant reviewer Cedric, and we will be doing a review of Always Yours Bakery this week. So keep your eyes peeled for that review to be dropped probably in a week or two, something like that. Bob says he never thought the show would go that way. I'm assuming with just people from outside of... Actually, you know what, Bob? I kind of expected that, because we actually did a few episodes ago. We had someone, I think in North Carolina, asking for information on police activity that happened there. And I think it's a cool thing about Facebook Live, that it reaches so many people, and we're gonna get people in other states chiming in, and I think it's cool. Welcome to them. So Michael in Amador County, he broke the record for people that came to see the Amador County events last year. The total last year was 240, and this year he has 291 that have seen his Amador County Christmas Village. Congratulations to you, Michael. Keep rocking it. And there you go. And again, Michael, Castro Valley's loss is Amador County's gain. We miss you, Michael. Whenever you're in Castro Valley, give me a shout out, and let, let's get face to face again. I haven't seen Michael. I haven't seen Michael in a ton of years, and he was one of my favorite people to see in Castro Valley. Also at the Rower Ranch Rodeo Parade a lot of times too. Don Xiao. Don is making a reference Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. That's an awesome John Denver reference. We're kind of turning into the turning into the music reference. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up with the some of the comments in the thread. It's awesome. You know what? I'm going to stop the show again and thank Don for returning, because Don brings so much to the show. There's comic relief. There's there. To be honest with you, there's a lot of times where my train of thought has been derailed, and Don brings something up that just brings me back on topic. And I appreciate Don so much. Michael says, "Miss you guys too. Have been in Amador County for 12 years now." That blows my mind, Michael, because I remember when you left. It seems like it's only been 4 years or something like that. But I miss Michael a lot. Michael's an awesome guy. We're still doing the roll call, but we should definitely be doing the Midway giveaway pretty soon. And I also mentioned that, there you go. Don said it perfectly, like shot, shot, shot. Every time I do something silly, Don would turn it into a game of something that I would do silly repetitively would turn into Don saying someone needs to take shots when I do something silly. The show here is pretty informal. We do discuss things that are important. We do discuss things that are happening in the community that are serious. I think there's a time and a place for me and you guys to be serious. I think there's also a good time and good place for people to not be serious. And I think I think the show walks that fine line in a beautiful way. And I think everyone listening I think everyone who listens to the show appreciates and understands the times that I'm silly or people listening are silly. And I think they appreciate that balance, and they know that I respect that balance. And I know that you guys respect that balance. And I'm stammering again because there's so much interesting and entertaining stuff going on in the comments tonight. I apologize because I'm totally distracted by some of the comments from Dalton. Bless your heart, Dalton. Welcome to the show. I am cerebrally trying to keep up with your intelligent comments, and I'm not being sarcastic. You're obviously a super smart individual, and I'm trying to process your amazing comments as they come in on the thread. Anyways, we're super close to the Midway giveaway. And again, guys, Thrifty Medical Supply on Redwood, they are across from Bart. They're located where Kay's Bridal used to be. And I think there was a karate studio there also. Zimata, they moved near the village. I'm amazed at the amount of stuff I know about businesses being located in Castro Valley. Also, the other business that Christine mentioned is Always Yours Bakery in the village. Like I said, we will be filming a restaurant review at that location this week. So you can look for a restaurant review there in the near future. We posted a photo of the long line outside of the bakery from Saturday, and there were 2 people who requested us do a review there. So we like to do what you guys suggest. So and from what I hear, that bakery is delicious. So we definitely want to respond to that. Dalton, your comments are intellectually stimulating and amazing. But we are here at I'm 1 minute late for the Midway giveaway, and I apologize. This you probably need Dramamine for this show because I'm jumping all over the map, and I'm going from the comments to suggestions to trying to follow the list here. So, without further ado or blather, $20 to Lord's Ice Cream in the Village. And again, this gift certificate is impressive. There's a lot of places who just kind of give out. Whoa, that focus went terrible. There's a lot of places that just kind of give out a gift card that's a little piece of paper. But this is the most impressive gift certificate I have received. I purchased from Castro Valley, a Castro Valley business in a long time. Ooh, I wish I could start this show again because I'm stammering and I'm stumbling on words, but it's okay. I got to give you the lowdown when it comes to the Midway giveaway. So the Midway giveaway is a trivia question that is Castro Valley related, sometimes Hayward related. Tonight's is Castro Valley related. So the first person to text the correct answer to the question at 510-331-9112 wins this $20 gift certificate to Lord's Ice Cream in the Village. I give you the rules one more time. The first person to text the correct answer to 510-331-9112 wins the gift card. You can post your answer in the comments down below. They don't count. You have to text it in. You have to be the first person to text in the correct answer. Like I said, comments don't count. They're wonderful, but they don't count. They won't win you the gift certificate. So 510-331-9112 is the phone number to text your correct answer to. So tonight's question is, and it's the question. It's not really a question. It's structured in kind of a SAT question format. So here you go. You overhear someone mention the Castro Valley pickle in conversation. What are these people talking about? If you were to hear anyone mention the Castro Valley pickle, and this is a PG rated show, you overhear someone mention, I'm doing bunny rabbit ears nonstop. You overhear someone mention the Castro Valley pickle in conversation. What are they talking about? 510-331-9112 is the number to text. Got a winner. And the winner is, oh, here we go. The winner is, the answer to the question is, oh no, we're going to get in so much trouble. Oops, I'm just reaching, I'm trying to get the name of the winner here. But in the meantime, I could actually give you the answer to the question. Yes. A lot of people know this one, and I'm super pleased. So if you overheard someone in town mentioning or referring to the Castro Valley pickle, and I'm doing bunny rabbit ears again, that would be the Castro Valley, the canoe. That was the canoe, the welcome sign on Redwood Road that was up in the. Oh, congratulations, Christine! Christine is the winner. And so if you heard anyone mention or refer to something as the Castro Valley pickle, that would be that canoe sign that was on Redwood Road for, oh, how long was it up there? I think it was up there for like a month. And it was removed due to overwhelming demand from Castro Valley. And I remember Bob actually texted in that he Bob said the canoe, bring it back. You know, should we talk about the canoe sign? Don got the answer correct as well, but Christine was the first person to text it in. Um, a couple of interesting things about the canoe. The pushback against the canoe was so significant that the artist who was completing the canoe in, I think it was 96, 97. She was out there. Her name is Sheila, and she's from Seattle. When she was out there doing some, I'm just reading Dalton's comments, and Dalton, I appreciate your amazing intellectual comments. Um, but getting back to the canoe, so the artist from Seattle, she was doing some finishing touches on the canoe, and the pushback against the canoe was so bad. People were so up in arms. People disliked it so much. She had Alameda County sheriffs guarding her because there were people that were driving by that were threatening her. Um, yeah, that was a wild situation. I was thinking about having the whole situation of having the canoe be the Midway giveaway question, something relating to it. And I was just thinking about that. And there was also, I mean, the fact that there were people actually threatening her when she was working on that piece of artwork in the late 90s. There was also another situation where I think, trying to remember exactly what had happened. There was a DJ named Mad Cow who was, I think it was Wild 97, 9, Wild 94.9. Wild 94.9. I'm glad I remember that. He actually went on the radio station, and I think he got in trouble with the radio station because he was saying some things that were leading to inciting violence against the canoe. That canoe, that whole situation was wild. And when I worked for the Forum a bunch of years ago, there was a local gentleman who, this was pre-pandemic, so this was probably, way pre-pandemic. So this was, I'm gonna guess this was probably over 10 years ago. He lived local. He lived in Castro Valley, and he went before the MAC. He had a plan and a concept to bring the canoe back, to have it on public display in Castro Valley somewhere. And there were actually a couple of fairly cool locations that he had come with. And while I'm blathering, you guys definitely feel free to comment on the thread and let me know what you think about the canoe. If you remember it, what your thoughts were. Would you like to see it come back? Would you prefer it stay where it's at? And also, I'll let you guys probably already know this. That piece of artwork, it's a 103. No. I'm sorry. It's a six figure piece of art. It was not cheap. It's actually being stored in it's a maintenance building in Dublin. It's owned by the county. It's adjacent to Santa Rita Jail. We're not paying rent for it. That's one of the rumors that went around, is that we're paying rent for the storage of the canoe. We in a way we kind of do, because we pay taxes to the county, but we're not paying specific rent for the storage of the canoe artwork. There's so many fun to me, interesting things that surround the canoe. The meetings where Supervisor Mary King, she predated Supervisor Nate Miley. The meetings that Mary King had at Castro Valley High to garner feedback after its installation, and there were public meetings. leading up to the canoe being installed. Uh, Unfortunately, they weren't well publicized. They weren't well attended. And I'm going to ask our moderator to go into our YouTube channel and find the story that we did about the canoe. We actually interviewed some local business people. We interviewed Mary King before she actually came to Castro Valley out of retirement and spoke to us about the canoe. We have a cool video. It's not a short video. It's actually kind of long, but I'm just trying to keep up with these comments here. But anyways, our video basically gives the history, the ins and outs of the canoe. There's some misinformation. It wasn't installed without public input. Like I said, there were public meetings. I don't think they were publicized as well as they could have been. They definitely weren't as well attended as they should have been, because obviously the pushback against that public art was immense. There were so many people who hated it at the time. There were people who graffitied it. There were people who threw stuff at it. Like I said, the artist, when she was working on that piece of art, she was threatened, and she had to have Alameda County sheriffs guarding her while she was out there working on it. The radio disc jockey, like I said, it made San Francisco radio. That they were, his name was Mancow, and he was talking about it and talking trash about it. And my understanding is he was suggesting people go deface it. Two other things surrounding the canoe that I think are really interesting and noteworthy is the meetings leading to its removal. Those were some of the most well-attended meetings in Castro Valley. It was at the high school in I think it's the cafetorium. There were so many people at that meeting. People could not fit into the cafetorium anymore. People were standing out in the hallways. And another amazing thing about the removal of the canoe is Castro Valley is one of the very few communities that actually had public art removed. So I know there are people who think that Castro Valley may not have a voice, or Castro Valley's voice is not heard. That's a prime example right there of something that Castro Valley did that not a lot of communities have done, to actually have installed public artwork removed. To me, it's interesting. The entire situation to me is interesting as a resident of Castro Valley, as a reporter. It's just interesting to me. I need to backtrack for a second, and I need to let you know that tonight's sponsor, the folks who sponsored the Midway giveaway that made it happen, they pay for the advertising space. I actually go out and purchase the gift cards because I love seeing local merchants and I love spending money in my town where I live. But the sponsor for tonight's Midway giveaway is forester.org. They are a local nonprofit with the mission to reforest urban communities. You can learn more at their website, forester.org, forestr.org. And they are the folks that you see picking up trash. And oh gosh, I missed so much in the thread because I'm sorry guys, I missed so many comments because the thread for some reason froze on my end. Don says I am also a great synchronized swimmer. That's not true. I can't swim. There's a silly tidbit of information. Never mind. Kathy says, I would like to see the canoe again. You're in luck because in our video, I think we also, we have photos of the sign in Dublin upstairs. So, yes. Good evening to Yumi. Yumi is in the house. Don says, can we take rides on the pickle? Asking for a friend. No. I wish we could. And our moderator found the video for that canoe thing. It's a couple minutes long, but it's definitely worth watching. Kathy says, "What about the purple dentist's office on the boulevard?" That was another color scheme kerfuffle that happened. The optometrist that is on Castro Valley Boulevard, I don't know the address right off the top of my head. It's actually one of the oldest buildings on Castro Valley Boulevard. Our moderator, if you look up Purple Castro Valley Building, just do a search on our page of Purple Optometrist Building. You can find that. That, I think, was in the 90s. There was a huge controversy about the optometrist building being painted purple, and it was painted over because there were a lot of people who did not like a purple building on the boulevard, and now we have a purple building on Redwood and it's Redwood and Grove. Redwood and Grove. It's the old Keith's Transmission purple building. I don't know Castro Valley's issues with color, but those were two instances where colorful. There you go. Our moderator just found. Oh, I can't do that. I can't navigate away from the screen, otherwise the live stream will end. But there you go. Kathy, thank you for bringing up the purple dentist office on the boulevard. That was another instance where colorful buildings were not popular or the canoe. I totally got derailed when we were talking about the canoe. So this gentleman who lived in Castro Valley, he had a pitch, he had a concept, he had an idea, he had a want, he had a need, he had a desire to bring the canoe back. And he actually garnered quite a few signatures in a petition to bring the canoe back. And this was quite a few years ago. Meredith brings up the bright and beautiful Wicked Garden building. They were orange. They're green. Tiffany, thank you for the 100 stars. I appreciate it. Chrissy mentions she thought the canoe was a hot dog in a bun. That's another thing that went around. Tiffany, thank you so much for the stars. If you are not familiar with the stars thing, you can definitely purchase stars and support us monetarily through buying stars. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate your support. Karen, good evening to you. I hope I didn't miss you in the roll call. Michael, Amador County football team winning the CIF Division 6AA state champions. Thank you for the info, Michael, and congratulations to that team for their achievement. So yes, getting back to the gentleman who wanted to bring back the canoe. He got signatures. He got enough signatures. It went before the MAC. And as you can imagine, the MAC were like, why? But they heard him out. And that meeting as well was an amazingly well-attended MAC meeting, when the council heard the pitch to bring back the canoe. And there were a couple of locations that are actually feasible. The median island outside of Lake Chabot on Lake Chabot Road was one of the places that were considered for its return. Needless to say, the MAC did not support the return of the canoe. And interestingly enough, the artist in Seattle, there's part of the contract. She has 50 years in the contract where if the canoe were to return, it would require her approval. So, there's still quite a few years in that contract for that Seattle artist to approve or disapprove where the canoe may or may not be placed, should it be brought out from that mechanics. I'm sorry, it's a maintenance warehouse in Dublin. She would have to have the final say on where it would be installed, if it would be installed. And also the cost would be another thing for people to think about, the cost for reinstallation and maintenance. So if the canoe were to return to someplace in Castro Valley, it might be a consideration to think of vandalism, maintenance, and those things. But there were other people who suggested that the canoe would be appropriate in Golfland, which I could see that working. You could put the ball into the canoe and win a game. Other folks were suggesting that maybe the canoe would work out on the island at Lake Chabot. I don't think East Bay Regional Parks would go for that. However, there were other people who said, don't put the canoe on the island, sink it at the bottom of Lake Chabot. It's such an interesting issue, and it's really unfortunately a polarizing thing, because there's some people who are still dead set against the canoe. There are still a lot of people who like the canoe and would like to see it come back. I actually honestly remember when the canoe was up, and it was even more polarizing then than it would be now. I think there were actually, I don't know, there were so many people who just hated it. There you go. Don says, win a hot dog if you get the ball in the canoe. There you go. Well, I'm kind of bummed because we lost Dalton somehow. Dalton, thank you for joining the show, and I appreciate your comments. It was your comments were just so intellectually amazing. I had to slow down and try to process them. You guys probably saw that. Our moderator just read my mind. Wow. Thank you, moderator. Definitely wanted to give you the update. If you missed the post earlier this morning, a lot of people are excited for this new eatery watering hole. That was weird gesticulation. I'm sorry. Beer Baron Bar and Kitchen, back in when was it? It was June. Back in June. Ronald brings up a good point. I believe people were upset about the colors used on the canoe project. I think the green and yellow, I think it rubbed people the wrong way. However, they're kind of close to the Castro Valley High colors, and the artist claimed that they were the colors and the canoe were reflective of the Ohlone Indian Native Americans that were from here. But Ronald, you definitely bring something up that a lot of people also agreed with, that they did not like the colors. So yes, approved back in June by the Castro Valley Municipal Advisory Council. Beer Baron Bar and Kitchen. They are working hard behind the scenes to get their plans and approvals from Alameda County Public Works, Environmental Health, and PG&E to open up in Castro Valley. They hope to receive those important final approved plans in the next few weeks so that they can break ground on the brew. It's basically a brew pub. They're a classy spot. They have locations in Oakland, Pleasanton, Santa Rosa, and Livermore. The building that they will be occupying is the former Spanky's Bar on Baker Road. They will include a full-service craft bar, craft cocktails, multiple beer taps, in addition to a variety of non-alcoholic beverages and food. You know, for lots and lots of years, there were tons of comments on our page and on other pages. People wanted a brew pub. It looks like this is going to be the closest thing to a brew pub we're going to get in Castro Valley. And I'm going to ask our moderator to repost in the thread here the image of what I can't pronounce nothing tonight. What Beer Baron are looking to do with the former Spankies. It looks classy. It looks great. Nothing against Spanky's. They kind of ran their course here in town. I know Spanky's had a huge dedicated following. I personally know Shane, who used to the family who used to own Spanky's. Great folks. But I think Beer Baron is going to be a game changer for Castro Valley. They are classy. They've got good stuff. I have personally not been to a Beer Baron. I know tons. I know a lot of people who have been to Beer Baron, and they are doing cartwheels and singing glorious songs of excitement for Beer Baron to come to Castro Valley. I think our town is changing in so many good ways. I think the wonderful folks here, I think the amazing geography here is just attracting so many good things to our town. Um, I know it's going to sound cheesy, but dude, Castro Valley's just happening, and people are coming here. The guys with Beer Baron recognize that and are investing a lot of time and money in our community to open up here. And I think Beer Baron is going to be one of those spots in Castro Valley that's really going to be a go-to place. I hear their food is amazing. I hear their bar area is amazing. I've exchanged some emails with a couple of their owners, and they seem like really awesome people. So there you go, Baker Road, former Spanky's. It's been a minute since Beer Baron got that approval, and I emailed them earlier today. Just wanted to see what was going on because it's been a minute that they've been planning, but it kind of makes sense that they're working through in my environmental health. See, I can't say words correctly tonight. I don't know what's going on. I've got someone else's mouth here. Environmental health, PG&E, and those those are expensive approvals. So something to look forward to. Don't have an opening date, but it's going to be happening. Don says we should do a group hug at the brew pub. I agree, Don. If the group hug is me and you, I'm down for that. I love you, Don. You are an awesome person. Should we end the show on Michael's question that is like a third rail question? Michael asks, I have one question. Is Castro Valley ever going to be a city? I think we should, Michael, I love you and I'm not making fun of you, but I think we should offer a moment of silence for that question. That's one of those questions that comes up every day. Not every day. It comes up so often. Is Castro Valley ever going to be a city? I don't know. I'm going to end the show with that question because that's a tough one. I did want to mention something else that I just saw today. Matella says no, never. I may be behind the times when it comes to things like this, but for the first time in a minute, I actually went into Lucky's, and they apparently did some serious renovations there, and they have. Randall says incorporation cityhood we tried in 2002 did not work. But anyways, I wanted to tip my cap and say some good things about Lucky's on the Boulevard. For a lot of years, I think the interior of that building was for the most part original, and it was not looking too fresh. But they have gone in there and they have done some renovations, and it looks good. It feels good. Like I said, it was the first time I had been in there in a minute, so they may have had their renovations completed for a while. And I know that's a little bit that's embarrassing because I do news and I should be more on top of that. But I just, because of those things, I didn't go to Lucky's. But check them out now. It looks good. It looks revamped, revitalized, and I just wanted to say good jobs to Lucky's. They're a chain. I know we've got with the same breath, I need to give a huge, huge shout out to Al's Market because they're independent and they are surviving. They have been around forever, and they deserve it because they're great people. And it's just, you can't go to Al's Market without seeing 4 people you know there, which is awesome. But Don says, would it be called Castro Valley City or the City of Castro Valley? I'm guessing it would be the City of Castro Valley. Chrissy said she stopped going to Lucky's, I'm assuming because would always smell the fish department. I, that comment resonates with me, and I'm going to tell you, Chrissy, it's not the case anymore. It smells new, it looks good, and I don't want to continue being an advertisement for Lucky's or appear like I'm trying to bag on them, because bless their hearts, they invested some money and time in that location and it looks great. But in the same breath, Al's Market rocks. The people are amazing. The customer service is always awesome. And that meat market, the meat counter, forget about it. That's the place. Al's is awesome. I love the people. I love the vibe. I love, like I said, going there and seeing all of my neighbors because everybody shops at Al's. For one thing or another, everybody shops at Al's. So enough of Lucky's and more of Al's Market. And also, on the same note, I love the Lake Chabot Public Market. Independently owned. I think I've mentioned this a couple times before. The Cho family, Hans is the gentleman with that family who grew up in Castro Valley and saw that market on Lake Chabot Road across from the community center park. It was Handy Andy's, it was Pascarella's, I think, it was a couple other things, and it was run down for years. There were people who were breaking in. There was actually a skateboard half pipe in that old market. And Hans said, let's do something in our community. And they purchased that building and they really stuck it out. They invested a ton of money. They went through a lot of MAC meetings in regards to the planning and the interior design. And I don't think enough can be said about Hans and his family for the amount of effort and money that they put into the Lake Chabot Public Market. It looks amazing inside and out. The things that they have in there are remarkable. With Chef Igor, I think we've done 4 reviews there. We did the ice cream stand. We did another review at the meat counter because they do sandwiches there. We did, I think we did boba in there. We also did the ramen place. I know I'm saying this again. Enough can't be said about Hans and his family for the amount of time and money that they invested in that market. Please support them because they supported us and they brought back that building to beyond former glory. It looks better now than it ever looked before. Historically, there were, I think, a couple of churches that wanted to buy that building because they wanted to have a church there. Those were not approved. The MAC denied them because it was that building is commercial. It is not church designation. So to their credit, the MAC kind of, stuck their neck out a little bit for that building. And wow, it looks fantastic inside and out. So there you go. I wanted to sing more praises for our independent markets more than luckies because we've got Al's, we've got the Lake Chapeau Public Market, we've got the market on the boulevard that's rocking and rolling as well. So with that said, guys, I don't have anything else on the list, and I've gone over an hour. Thank you guys for your patience. You guys are awesome. I thank you, Dalton, for stimulating my gray matter with your amazing insights and comments. I'm gonna have to go back and try to get up to speed with what you were talking about because it was some cerebral stuff. You guys are awesome. I am so glad that Don is back. I love you, brother, and I hope you continue coming back numerous times. Mac says the Korean meat shop is good, and I that is in the Lake Chabeau Public Market. That's Mama Cho's Meat Counter, and they also do, unless they changed, they do sandwiches, which we went. Igor, our wonderful restaurant reviewer, went and tasted some of the sandwiches there, and Mac is correct. It was a grand slam from what Igor said. So anyways, with that said, this is an hour and 6 minutes. You guys are great. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Don says 10 more minutes. So that would be, all right, Don, I'll do 10 more minutes. So 10 more minutes. I actually do have other things on the list. Actually, I don't. No, I do. I have 2 other things on the list that I didn't get to. So I'm going to cross. We did the roll call. All right. We did mention we're doing the restaurant review coming up. We did the Midway giveaway. We mentioned Beer Baron. I mentioned Lucky's. I wanted to also tell you, this kind of made me sad because last episode on Saturday, I mentioned to you, and another thank you to Alameda County Public Works for repaving Foothill Boulevard. It's remarkable. It looks great. However, and I had like an internal bet with myself. I was like, I wonder how long it's going to be before someone comes and turns tight ones on Foothill, meaning doing donuts in their car. And from the time that Foothill was completed and reopened to the first time that someone came out in front of our spot here on Foothill, it was literally probably 2 or 3 days before someone came out here and turned tight ones and did donuts. And you know, for the angst that I felt against this person doing donuts, you know, I'm from the Bay. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm gonna confess, I grew up going to some sideshows, and sideshows are part of the Bay Area. Oh, people are gonna push back against me for that comment, but I realize the importance for this comment. I realize not the importance. I realize that sideshows and doing donuts, it's part of the culture here in the Bay Area. And I know people I don't want people being at sideshows and getting hurt and all of that. And I'm trying to extract my foot from my mouth and back out of this conversation because I don't want to seem like I'm condoning people doing donuts and doing the sideshows. But I'm going to acknowledge that it's part of the Bay Area culture. It definitely is. It's undeniably part of our culture here in the Bay Area. I think, who was it? I think it was the Oakland mayor who had the idea to give part of the Coliseum parking lot to people doing sideshows. I think that's genius. I think that's an epic idea. I think that's thinking outside of the box. It's a great idea. I just don't want people going to sideshows and getting hurt. There are people who don't understand that part of our culture here in the Bay Area. And also, it's definitely something that holds people up. There could be emergency vehicles trying to get through to bring people to hospitals. I'm trying to see all sides of the story. But yes, it took literally 2, maybe 3 days before someone was over here on Foothill just turning tight ones. And it wasn't someone doing it for a couple seconds. He was burning out. Or she. This person was burning out for a while. So that person, thank you for christening Foothill Boulevard with your donuts. But I am beside myself with joy that Foothill, past John Drive before where Terrace Market is, this road, I know I went to great lengths to explain how terrible Foothill was. I mean, there were cracks in Foothill this wide. I am so grateful that it's been redone. Hopefully it will last. It will last for a while. So with that said, that was close to Don's extra 10 minutes. That's all I've got in the list. There was one more thing on the list that I was going to mention. I received a critique from my mom, and I love her. I know she's listening. I love her so much. Mom's weekly critique is she doesn't understand while at the end of the show I do an ugly face. And I think what happens when I end the show, like whatever moment at the very end of the show when I click end, I think that's just captured. So I'm going to try to end the show with a smile so that that moment captured will be a smile. So I'm going to end the show right now. This is 1 hour, 11 minutes. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Don. Thank you, everyone. You guys are super cool. I appreciate all the stars. I appreciate you guys following the show. We started this doing audio only, and then we went and did video for a while. It's been successful. You guys like it. I'm honored and touched that you guys like it. We're doing it 2 nights a week, and moderator just sent me a super sneer. Oh my god. If that's the way the show ended last week, that's terrible. I'm doing a serious mean mug like the it's like that. It's like I sat on a lemon or something. Tiffany, I hope you have a good night as well. Don says capture the moment. So hey guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you to our wonderful, yeah, there you go. That was the last snap from last week. Darn. What I should do is, I mentioned this, is I should get up and walk away and then end the show. So maybe you'll see Hank back here, and he's gorgeous. Hank is a pit bull, and he is handsome. So with that said, guys, you guys are awesome. I am Roberto again. As always, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Thanks.